coaches, real community, real conversations. Welcome to the Red Card Podcast. Let's get into it.
I'll never forget the text that I got at about 2:30 in the morning from one of my best players. She said, "Coach, I can't do this anymore. I'm exhausted. Not physically, I'm just exhausted." She was 16, very talented player. College programs were looking at her. From the outside, everything looked perfect. From the inside, from that text I got, I think she was drowning in her own thoughts. That text changed how I decided to coach because it was something I should have realized a long time ago, that the mental game isn't something that you just store in your backpack. It's the foundation to your ability to succeed in sport. And when the mental game cracks, everything else crumbles. There are three things in the mental game that destroy more talented athletes than lack of skill ever will. One, pressure. Two, burnout. Three, shattered confidence. Now, there are two types of pressure. I'm not saying the pressure is bad. In fact, some pressure is necessary for growth, but I need to help you understand the difference between productive pressure and destructive pressure. Productive pressure, it makes you better. It's time limited, like a big game, a tournament, or a tryouts. It's clear and specific, and you know what's expected. It's usually matched to your level, may be hard, but it's achievable. It's voluntary because you chose to be there. Productive pressure feels like excitement mixed with nerves. It sharpens your focus and it brings out the best that you have. And after it's over, you feel accomplished, but you're tired. Then there's the destructive pressure, the pressure that breaks you. It's constant and unrelenting. Then you have no recovery time. The task seems impossible. You're not sure if you're ever going to be good enough. It's beyond your current capacity, and you don't know if you're swimming or drowning. It's imposed, it's isolating, and you feel alone in it. Destructive pressure feels like a 50-pound plate on your chest, and it's the 10th rep, and you've never lifted that much. I believe it clouds your thinking. I know it makes you play scared. The whole thing, it never goes away, even after the game. Here's the problem. In modern youth sports, we've normalized destructive pressure. We call it dedication or commitment or whatever it takes to be elite. But it's poison. And here's what that poison is doing. The average age of burnout in youth sports, 13 years old. 70% of kids quit organized sports by the age of 13. Not because they're not good enough, not because they've lost interest in the game, because we made it stop being fun. And here's the part that should make all of us uncomfortable. According to Women's Sports Foundation, and I did my research, girls drop out twice the rate of boys. In volleyball, a sport dominated by girls, we're losing the female athletes faster than any other demographic. Think about that. Then we get to the burnout. Burnout isn't just being tired. It's not the same as having a bad week or needing a rest day. Burnout is a state of physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion caused by prolonged stress. Here's what burnout looks like in young athletes. You have the physical signs: constantly tired, even after they rest. They get more injuries, slower to recover. They get sick frequently. They have sleep problems, eat too much or eat too little. And then we have the emotional signs. They don't find fun in the sport anymore, mood swings, anxiety, feeling numb or detached, or they'll cry out of nowhere. Then the one that touches my heart the most is the mental and behavioral signs. There's decline in their performance despite their effort. They don't have any motivation or they don't care. They withdraw from their teammates and they might procrastinate or not even come to practice. Loss of confidence, feeling trapped, and they want to quit, but they can't. When you get all three of these, you are now dealing with full burnout, and it's devastating. And let's be honest about the system that we've created. Year-round training, no real off season. Club season starts October to June. High school is August to November. Summer camps and tournaments fill the gaps. So when do the kids rest? When do they recover? When do they remember why they love this sport? We have specialization at younger ages. I've trained kids who were telling me their position at 12. That's insane, but it's become normalized. And then we have the professionalization of youth sports, private lessons, strength training, mental skills coaches, video analysis, and recruiting services. We're treating 14-year-olds like professional athletes. Their bodies and brains just aren't ready for that yet. Families spend thousands of dollars on club volleyball. That investment creates pressure. It creates pressure on the parents to see the result. It creates pressure on the kids to justify the expense. It stops being play and becomes a job. Not to mention the scarcity narrative. Only 2% of high school athletes play in college, and only a fraction get scholarships. We're told that if you're not grinding harder than everyone else, you'll miss your shot. So kids grind themselves into the dust. Now, some of y'all are thinking, Coach, you gone soft. Elite athletes need to grind. That's what separates champions from everybody else. And I get it. I get it. I used to believe that too. I believe that toughness meant never taking a day off. I believe that caring about winning was what made me a great coach. I believe that if my players were not exhausted and I wasn't pushing them hard enough, that was not what I needed to do. And then there's a kernel of truth to that mindset. Elite performance does require sacrifice. It does require discipline. It does require pushing through discomfort. But here's what I got wrong. There's a difference between development and winning. Development means building skills progressively, allowing for recovery, celebrating improvements, keeping joy in the process. Winning means doing whatever it takes to get the result, even if it breaks the athlete in the process. I was so focused on winning that I forgot my job was development. And when you prioritize winning over development, you get short-term results, which end up in long-term casualty. You'll get kids who win at 14, quit at 15. Athletes who collect trophies, but lose their love for the game. The grinders aren't wrong that elite performance is hard. They're wrong that the burnout is the price that you pay. And then there's the word I hear so many times, like this word has status: confidence. Confidence is trust in your ability to handle what comes next. It's not I will succeed. It's I can handle this, whatever happens. There's a massive difference because the first definition makes confidence fragile. It crumbles the moment you fail. The second definition makes confidence resilient. It survives failure because failure was always part of the deal. Now, there are two types of confidence. You have the outcome confidence, and this confidence is tied to results. I will make this serve. I will win this match. I will get recruited. Outcome confidence is seductive because it feels powerful, because you said that to yourself. But it's brittle. The moment you miss that serve, the moment you lose that match, the moment you don't get recruited, it shatters. Most athletes operate out of outcome confidence, and that's why their confidence is so unstable. Now, process confidence is tied to your ability to execute a process. I know how to prepare. I know how to focus. I know how to adjust. I know how to learn from my mistakes. Process confidence is durable because even if you lose, you can still trust your process. Even if you fail, you know you can improve. The best athletes are the ones who stay confident. Even after setbacks, you operate from the process of confidence. Let's move to the mental game. If the mental game is so important, then why don't we teach it? Most coaches spend 95% of practice time on technical and tactical skills and maybe 5% on the mental skills. I have a different approach because I need that head right first and foremost. Because I believe when athletes fail, it's almost always mental. Here are the mental skills that every athlete needs: knowing your emotional state, your triggers, your patterns. You can't regulate what you don't notice. Managing your emotions, your energy, your focus. This includes breathing techniques, self talk, mental reset. All those should be routine. Gain focus control, knowing where to direct your intention. Being able to shift it is needed. There's a difference between getting distracted by a bad call and refocusing on the next play. Mental rehearsal and visualization. Let's practice in our mind before we perform. If you've trained with me before, one of my icebreakers is when kids feel they can't do it, is what I have them do, and they close their eyes and they do the task in their head. We walk it through, we talk it through, then they do the task. And I clown them and say, yeah, see, you can do this with your eyes closed. This builds confidence and prepares your brain for success. Then there's the growth mindset, believing that you can improve through effort. This is the foundation of resilience. How you recover from mistakes, having to go through the process of letting go errors to move forward. The best athletes don't make mistakes. They recover from them faster. Pre-performance routines, your rituals before you serve, before games, before big moments. Routines create a sense of control, a sense of calm. But here's what I haven't told you yet. The player that texted me at 2:30 in the morning, I was awake, lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, obsessing over rotations, because I was burned out too. But I was creating a system that was drowning that player. I was so focused on winning and proving myself as a coach at the time, on building a program that people respected, that I couldn't see that maybe I was breaking my players. The same destructive pressure I described earlier I was living it. And I was passing it down. Coaches, parents, athletes, we're all trapped in a system that is optimized for winning, not development, but for result. Not for fun, but for performance, and not for people. So after that conversation with her, yeah, I changed how I coached. Because here's what I do now. I talk about mental health openly. I check in with my players and I ask how they're feeling, not just how they're playing. I make it safe to say, I'm struggling or I need a break. I practice mental skills, not just physical skills. We do breathing exercises. I'll have them all hold hands and we all try to get one breath. Practice self-talk, rehearse mistake recovery. It's part of training. It's not an afterthought. I build in rest and recovery. I won't schedule practices during exams or if there's stressful times. I give players permission to skip optional training if they're exhausted. Rest is part of my plan. It's not a sign of weakness. I focus on process goals, not just outcome goals. I have a 10-second rule to recover from your mistakes. I model vulnerability. I tell my players when I'm stressed or I'm not having a good day. My kids have actually seen me cry and not happy tears. I admit when I make coaching mistakes. I show them that it's okay to be human. I celebrate growth, not just wins. After the games, we don't just talk about the score. We talk about who showed mental toughness, who recovered from a bad play, who came in and changed the momentum for the game for the win. Here's the red card truth, and here's what I believe. The mental game isn't optional. It's not a luxury for elite athletes. It's the foundation for everyone. If we are teaching kids to spike, but not teaching them to handle pressure, we are failing them. If we are building the technical skills and not their confidence, we are setting them up for collapse. If we are pushing them to grind without teaching them to rest, we are driving them towards burnout. We can do better. We have to do better. Because the mental game, it's not just volleyball, it's about life. The athlete who learns how to handle pressure, to recover from failure, to build resiliency, is an athlete learning skills that will serve them for the rest of their lives. See you on the next podcast.
Yeah, another one is in the books. Thanks for tuning in for all the second looks. You're locked in with your favorite host, the Red Card Cast. Yeah, we're signing out. We'll be back next week without a doubt.